is in good company here with most strikeouts there in MLB playoff history at 219, just above Clayton Kershaw and Smoltz. The Yankees will try to get even in this series in Game 2. That is tonight at 7:37 Eastern in Houston. And here to break down Game 1 of the ALCS and give us a preview for Game 2 is our MLB insider and World Series champ himself, Will Middlebrooks. Now, Will, up until I want to say about the 6th inning, it seemed like the Yankees could have won this game, but obviously didn't go their way. What was your takeaways for the Yankees and the Astros in Game 1?
Yeah, I think this game revealed two of New York's biggest weaknesses. We knew coming into this their bullpen. Number one, their bullpen was weak. It's kind of duct taped together. It's not what they wanted. And they kind of used yesterday to reset their main guys. We didn't see their main arms throw. But I just don't think their bullpen's very strong. I mean, there's no Michael King, no Efros, no Zach Britton, if you want to count him, Aroldis Chapman, Chad Green, the list goes on and on of their mainstays in their bullpen the last couple years. And they got away with that against a light-hitting Cleveland team. But when you're facing the Houston Astros and you walk guys and you make mistakes over the middle of the plate, they make you pay. We saw the Astros take them deep 3 times, and that's just their bullpen. And honestly, the Astros offense I didn't think had a great game. I thought they were good, but if you look at the stats, Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman, Altuve, all their best hitters were all hitless. Altuve is actually 0 for his last 19, but that just shows how deep their lineup is. Secondly, the Yankees offense, all or nothing, right? We saw in July and August when they went through that 45 game skid where they weren't playing good baseball. They either hitting home runs or striking out. Well, that's what they did yesterday. They had 2 home runs to get on the board, but they also struck out 17 times in one game. And a couple of times with guys on third base with less than 2 outs. And I think a prime example of that was Josh Donaldson. We saw him up with runners on second and third, 1 out in the 3rd inning. They had Justin Verlander on the ropes. His pitch count was getting up. You had a chance to get him out of the game. He went for the knockout punch, a 3-run homer. Instead of just with the infield back, they're giving you a run. Just put it in play. Fundamental baseball wins playoff games, and the Yankees couldn't do that yesterday.
And we already talked about Verlander and the pitching in Game 1. Looking ahead to Game 2, what are your keys for some probable pitchers, starting off with Severino for the Yankees?
Yeah, Severino's a kicker for this team. He is an X factor in my opinion. But let's look at the keys here for him. I think number one, you got to attack the zone, right? You got to be aggressive. You got to get ahead of these Astros hitters. If you're behind, this offense is really good in fastball counts. The numbers show it. When they're 2-0, 3-1, 3-0, they make it hurt and they get you big time. Now, number 2, by attacking the zone, you're going to keep the pitch count down. You have to keep the pitch count down because, like I said, their bullpen is not very good. You want to avoid them having to cover half the game. Now, thirdly, for Severino, throw that upper 90s fastball in. Pitch into these hitters, lefties and righties. Once you establish the inner half and they are trying to speed up their bats to get to that pitch, that is when you will get chased. That is when you'll get the swing and miss at the slider and the changeup later in counts. But you got to get ahead with the fastball. Now let's go over to Valdez for Houston. He's had a phenomenal season. Framber has been unbelievable. First things first, like I just said with Severino, he's got to pitch in. We know the New York hitters crush the fastball when it's out over the plate. You have to pitch in here. His best secondary pitch is his breaking ball. When you're pounding the inner corner with a fastball and you're able to establish that and the hitter has to respect the inner half, all of a sudden that sharp breaking ball becomes trouble. You can't combat that. You can't hit both of them. Secondly, pitch to the edges. Stay out of the middle of the plate. This fastball feasts on mistakes. They're boppers. They hit home runs. We get that. If you miss middle, they will hurt you. Pitch, stay off the plate, make them chase. Thirdly, use their aggressiveness against them. All right, we know they're going up there hacking. We saw it yesterday. They're trying to slug. They're trying to hit for power. They have to hit home runs to win. We've seen that all year. All right, change speeds, mix pitches. Live on the edges between the chalk line and the edge of the plate. Let them get themselves out like we saw them do yesterday.
And we'll want to talk about that quick turnaround that the Yankees had after Game 5 of the ALDS. We know there was no rest day. We had the rain delay, all the drama there. So how much does that impact a team and a player as you're going into Game 1? I mean, you know this firsthand. What does that impact have just on your body when you don't have an off day?
Yeah, at this point, these guys have been going since late February, early March, and they're tired, right? They are, but they've gotten their second, third, even fourth wins at this point. Position players will be fine. You're living off of adrenaline. You're fired up for the postseason games. These are the biggest games of your life for a lot of these guys, especially the younger ones. The position players are fine. You run into issues with pitching. Arms get tired. There's only so many bullets, right? And the bullpen, like I said, with New York, that's an issue. These are a lot of guys who have had to step up in big spots and they're exhausted. And then you look at pitching. I feel like starting pitching, you have to have rotational depth. And I think that's where the Astros really have an advantage here because they have Verlander, Valdez, McCullers Jr., Luis Garcia. They have 4 guys who could be a top 2 starters on most teams in baseball, and they can go deep into games. They can let each other rest and not have to pitch on short rest, and that gives them a massive advantage here. But to your point, adrenaline takes over when you're playing for a ring and you're a couple wins away from going to a World Series.
All right, we'll see if the adrenaline takes over in Game 2. That is our MLB insider, Will Middlebrooks. Thanks so much, Will.
Thank you.
And getting a quick look at the ALCS Game 2 probable pitchers. We have Severino for the Yankees and Valdez for the Astros. I'm sorry there. The Yankees will look to even out the series in Game 2 of the ALCS. That is tonight at 7:37 Eastern. We got baseball, we got basketball, a lot going on this time of the year.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.